The system uses baselines and subsequent reactions to obtain this feedback information associated with the individual responses to the stored electrical profile of each one of these different items. And like all panels, it gives us visual and auditory information that lets us know how the client's doing, although I do have the sound turned off for this demonstration. But even more exciting, it also has the capacity to compare over the baseline reactions to multiple items from the matrix at once, such as to the muscles and emotional and ponderable signatures at the same time. By obtaining the feedback on their reactions to these items in association with the spinal, muscle, and nerve stress, we can train for a response to the signal until the client achieves less stress. And as they participate in relaxing tension from these areas and holding these new patterns, we can see and hear the feedback of their improvement. Underneath this Muscles tab, we can hone in on the specific areas of tension being held in the muscles and begin gently re-educating them. There's a convenient numbered list here at the top that gives us specific areas of reactions which we're over the baseline to work with and to place more attention on. The same goes for the feedback on corresponding nerve signatures that are associated with them. And this gives us the same feedback response percentages listed for us at the top for us to check in with, which get very specific to the different places in the body, even offering us the option of focusing on a certain part of the body with the choices listed here in the center. Notice that the red lower torso is highlighted, and we can work with that first selection and then move on to an area of our choice. Now, we also have specific areas for different types of pain control. Notice how individuated the choices are at the right. Now, so we ask the client to get very specific about the nature of their stress from pain. We can select the appropriate boxes and then set the timer and begin training with them for a better response than before. Each of these panels has a timer on it so that the operator and the person attached can have some say in determining how much of the session can be dedicated to these different themes. This is where those calculations on the matrix obtained over the baseline on the very first part of the program can help you decide which choices amongst all these different panels most pertain to each person's different reactions. Because the biological stress response often directly impacts the cardiovascular system, we have a specific area utilizing feedback dedicated to helping the client to ease the reactions impacting their circulatory system as they learn to feel the control over it through the process. And again, because the system can test multiple reactions at once, you can see that we can get very specific about circulatory stress at the upper right of this panel, which we can click various areas on and which draw from the main scan of over the baseline reactions or according to your or your client's choice. Now, just as the Auto Meridian training program allowed us to get more and more specific as we went deeper into the panel, the same holds true for this program. Reactions above the baseline in the first part of the program can then help us determine which SAR code signatures to train with from this one. SAR codes are homeopathic formulas that are made from healthy tissue samples and are part of the electrical signatures that are stored in the database. Reactions to stress above the baseline to these items usually mean that training with them is a good choice, and this panel gives us that option. Now, as you can see from this panel, this targets stress reduction training that may be impacting blood pressure, and there are several other tabs along this section, including autonomic response training. Here we can help the client learn to relax the main parts of the body associated with that stress response, which again can impact the ability to digest properly and create uncomfortable feelings of nervousness. The sympathetic stabilization system referred to here is that which stays on in overactivity, even if on a subtle level during that response. And the parasympathetic nervous system, governing digestive processes and more, can become stressed in this response as well. And it affects so many other areas that this program is another one of those that we consider central in overall stress reduction and the impact it can have on your overall sense of well-being. This next panel has some more specific timed training programs which allow us to work in timed increments. Now, some of these are related to enhanced peak performance sports training, although they're good for everybody, even non-athletes. Training muscles for mass, for example, is especially important in those who lead sedentary lifestyles. That's one of the factors that the American Medical Association articles suggest is at epidemic levels in our society. And it's a type of underactivity with its own set of stress-related issues upon the heart, weight, brain function, and more. Most importantly, this program has enhanced learning programs called super learning, where we're able to train control of brainwave harmonics and create awareness states conducive to improved concentration in several levels, as you can see. Some activities are more left brain focused, while other items focus more on the right. This is one of the most important components of the program, since reducing the stress as it affects the brain is central to maintaining wellness. The brain is often called the master controller of the body, governing not only our ability to think and feel well, it sends and receives signals, often beneath our perception, that are important to the rest of the body's optimal function. And it's believed that by relaxing our minds and slowing the rhythms down, more mind energy is available to us, and the natural stress-reducing biochemical processes needed to maintain stability are able to operate better. This next panel is one of the many programs, such as this one, that automatically focus to various electrical parameters of the client's responses and offer training feedback in real time. The system is self-correcting in that it will adjust levels when the system detects a stress response, so that you can utilize the time that it's running to either educate your client, allow your client to share what may be on their mind, or conduct relaxation exercises, or utilize other techniques that you may have skill in. Now, I don't think that anyone watching this would argue that certain emotions, such as excess anger, resentment, grief, frustration, or the like, don't cause stress. They can even have an impact on the blood pressure. And because they're such a large part of people's stress picture, we have a wide variety of training programs in this panel that are many people's favorites. There's too many to actually demonstrate here. But people can learn to train to stabilize their blood pressure as it's triggered by emotions, for example. However, as a continuation of the super learning theme, many people relieve their stress by training to reach heightened states of awareness, even on a spiritual level, and programs designed for that purpose, allowing clients to center on achieving their higher, less mundane purpose, are also included here, along with some others that support the release of unwanted patterns and trends in their life. And because our emotions play such an important role in our cognitive function, special focus and memory training programs are also contained here. Now, obviously, in this short amount of time, I can't take you through all the panels, but I think you get an idea of how holistically it's designed. There are more and more panels to explore, such as those that feature the groups of items from the matrix regarding reactive nutritionally based signatures, skin re-education for beauty, stress pertaining to aging factors, and much more. Biofeedback allows individuals to take control over bodily processes normally considered involuntary. EPFX quantum biofeedback empowers people with the ability to use reactive signals from their own bodies to positively change the way they live. Thank you for listening. I'm Gage Tarrant.